Today I'm going to explore several major environmental challenges that affect both Lincoln and the global community. We'll look at climate change, air pollution, waste management, and a few persistent climate myths that still shape public understanding. My goal is to show how what we experience here in Nebraska connects to broader global trends and how local and international solutions work together. Environmental issues are deeply interconnected. Climate change influences air quality, waste contributes to greenhouse gas emissions, and misinformation affects how communities respond. What we see locally often mirrors global patterns. In this presentation, I'll cover climate change impacts, air pollution, waste and sustainability, climate myths, and ozone protection. Much of the information comes from Harris 2023, the EPA, and international climate organizations. Harris explains that human-generated greenhouse gases are the main driver of modern climate change, and we're seeing those effects right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Our summers are getting hotter, heat waves are more frequent, and precipitation patterns are shifting. Instead of steady seasonal rainfall, we're experiencing longer dry periods followed by intense storms. These changes affect agriculture, infrastructure, and public health. One of the clearest examples of climate-linked extreme weather in Nebraska was the 2019 flooding. That event caused widespread damage and highlighted how vulnerable our infrastructure can be. Farmers in Lancaster County have also reported more crop stress due to heat and inconsistent rainfall. These aren't distant predictions. These are real impacts affecting livelihoods and ecosystems right now. Lincoln is taking meaningful steps to address these challenges. The Lincoln Climate Action Plan includes expanding renewable energy, improving public transit, and increasing our urban tree canopy. These strategies reduce emissions and help the city adapt to hotter temperatures and more extreme weather. Harris emphasizes that community-level resilience is essential, and Lincoln's approach reflects that guidance. Climate change is a global issue, and local action works best when it aligns with international efforts. The Paris Agreement is a major example of global cooperation, with countries committing to limit warming and transition toward renewable energy. Around the world, nations are investing in climate-resilient infrastructure and cleaner technologies. These global strategies support and reinforce the work being done at the local level. Air pollution is another major environmental challenge, and Lincoln is no exception. Two of the most harmful pollutants identified by Harris are ground-level ozone and PM 2.5, which is fine particulate matter. Both are present in our region and can reach levels that affect sensitive groups, especially during the summer. In Lincoln, air pollution comes from several sources. Vehicle emissions release nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds, which contribute to ozone formation. Agricultural operations generate dust and particulates. Industrial activity and construction sites also add to the pollution mix. Even wildfire smoke from other states can drift into Nebraska and worsen air quality. These pollutants have serious health and environmental impacts. Fine particulates can penetrate deep into the lungs and even enter the bloodstream, increasing the risk of respiratory and cardiovascular problems. Ozone can irritate the lungs, trigger asthma, and reduce overall lung function. Beyond human health, these pollutants also damage ecosystems and reduce biodiversity. Waste management plays a surprisingly large role in environmental sustainability. When waste breaks down in landfills, it produces methane, a potent greenhouse gas. Recycling reduces energy use and conserves natural resources. The EPA emphasizes that improving recycling systems and reducing waste can significantly lower emissions and environmental impacts. Lincoln relies heavily on landfill disposal, and while we do have recycling programs, participation is moderate and contamination remains a challenge. Composting options are expanding, but access is still limited for many residents. Overall, the system works, but there's room for improvement to make it more efficient and sustainable. To strengthen our waste system, Lincoln could expand curbside composting, increase recycling education, and reduce single-use plastics. Encouraging businesses to adopt sustainable practices would also make a big difference. These recommendations align with the EPA's guidance for reducing waste-related emissions and improving community sustainability. Misinformation is one of the biggest barriers to climate action. Two common myths are that climate change is purely natural and that it's too late to act. Scientific evidence clearly shows that current warming is driven by human activities, especially greenhouse gas emissions. And while the solution is urgent, organizations like the United Nations emphasize that immediate action still matters. Challenging these myths is essential for building public support for climate solutions. The ozone layer protects life on Earth by blocking harmful ultraviolet radiation. Substances like CFCs and halons once caused significant ozone depletion, but global action through the Montreal Protocol has led to major recovery. Harris and the EPA highlight this as one of the most successful environmental agreements in history. Even so, ongoing monitoring is important to ensure the ozone layer continues to heal. Environmental challenges such as climate change, pollution, habitat loss, and waste are deeply interconnected. Addressing these issues requires cooperation at every level, from individuals and local communities to national governments and global organizations. Throughout this presentation, we have seen how human activities affect the environment and how those impacts can be reduced through informed decisions and sustainable practices. In Lincoln, Nebraska, progress is being made through climate action planning, investments in renewable energy, improved recycling and waste systems, and efforts to protect natural resources. However, meaningful change does not depend on government action alone. Each of us has the power to make a difference through everyday choices. Reducing waste, conserving energy and water, supporting clean energy, using sustainable transportation, staying informed, and challenging misinformation all contribute to a healthier and more sustainable future. When communities work together and individuals take responsibility, small actions add up to significant results. By protecting the environment today, we help ensure a cleaner, safer, and more resilient world for future generations. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation. I hope it has helped you better understand the importance of environmental stewardship and inspired you to take action in your own life. Together, we can protect our community, preserve our planet, and create a more sustainable future for everyone.